But the bad and the ugly certainly came at the end of the game. Shaq, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Can I say, I found this as unsurprising as I found it disappointing. I kind of feel like I could see this coming. The way that Argentina played the game, all 120 minutes long, I just felt that once this game ended and they lost, this was what was going to happen. At no point was I clutching at my pearls as this started to unfold. Listen, on the one hand, you want to say this is not that talented an Argentina team, but have Lionel Messi and play to their strengths, their physicality and being in your face and just towing the line as to referees taking action and not. And it got them this far. It got them to a final. And within, 13 minutes of a penalty shootout, in which could have gone either way. So they got the best out of this group of players by having this attitude. I think, especially when we're talking about a World Cup, all that it means to me, all that it means to so many people, you would love to have seen a more dignified ending in general to all of this. And while I say I'd have loved to have seen a more dignified ending, at no point during the course of the game did I think we'd get one.
I'll be honest, looking at those scenes after the game, which obviously weren't great, firstly, it's a few of the Argentinian players, yeah? And the main one is Paredes. When we were showing the pictures just then, it was not necessarily fully led by him because Molina starts with Rodri and that seems to trigger everything else. But Paredes, basically for the whole time he was on that field, was basically just fouling, kicking people, causing a stir. And
constantly.
Yeah, I'm surprised he got sent off in the end. Obviously, this is when the game's done, but he immediately came in, he was getting people's faces, he was pushing people over, he was kicking people. And I'm thinking to myself, is this what Scaloni wanted? Did he want somebody to do that? Did he want Paredes to come in for his footballing ability, to be able to be in that anchor position and move the ball around? But instead, as I say, it turned into this dogfight. And, for everyone watching that game, you kept thinking, there's no way Argentina haven't taken a shot yet. They're going to take a shot in a second. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. But I think they went too far the other way. And, you made a point, to be fair, to give Spain more credit. Argentina came up against the one team that would not let them breathe. For how tired that Argentina were throughout this tournament, the moments that they relied upon, they come up against the worst team to play against. And I think for some players, they were tired. Some of them were very, very frustrated, as we saw in Paredes and Molina. And a few made them look like the worst losers we could ever imagine. But like I say, it wasn't all of them in that instance. But obviously there's something that came afterwards with the trophy lift, which raises a few more questions.
But they did take turns during the game.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so many challenges that were just, there's one thing to be physical. And I'm sitting watching it thinking, I always say, it doesn't matter how you win, you got to do what you got to do to win. But I was questioning what I said. Because if you want to go around smashing people when they're not looking, that's what Argentina were doing.
Yeah.
And the referee, right off the bat, in the first 5 minutes, I think it was, when Paredes smashed Rodri. And then with Simeone smashing somebody else, Simeone did the same thing. You got Romero away out in the touchline. Again, somebody fell down in front of him. Oh, oops, a daisy standing on them. I mean, just the whole thing. There's half a dozen of them. Were just going around, taking pot shots when it was on, when nobody was looking.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I initially thought the referee had a good game, but then the more I thought about all of the shots from the cowardly shots, I'm thinking, well, there's more than just a referee, There's 5 officials? Are you telling me none of them saw that?
Yeah.
We always complain we don't want VAR refereeing games, which we don't. But what are the other 4 doing?
Yeah.
Were they not watching this going on?
To that point, they've been doing this all tournament long. I mean, at times, and granted, the opponent was nowhere near as tough as Spain was, but they've been allowed to be physical, even in the semi-final. I thought Enzo Fernandez should have been sent off after 3 minutes. Come through the back, Elliot Anderson with not just a kick, but a forearm to the back of the head that he didn't even get booked for. Yeah. I do not understand this. Well, it's too early. It's too early to sense. If it's a red card offence, it's on time. I do not understand this. And that ticked every single box for a red card. He wasn't even booked. So now, if you're Argentina and you realise, OK, we could get away with this, we have been allowed to do this, particularly early on, then they'll just go ahead and do it.
I'm going to spin this as a positive for the Spanish, though, because they were not rattled at all.
Yeah.
From the very first whistle to the final whistle to the post-game scenes. Like, Rodri's running along and gets hit by Molina. Then he's saying to Molina, like, what are you doing? Molina's trying to get in his face. He's like, what's going on here? You know, Eric Garcia comes over. It's like, what's going on here? Next thing, he's on the floor. Then someone else is on the floor. But they're all like, well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
As opposed to taking the bait and turning it into something which sort of mars your reputation. Instead, they've come off like the cleanest bunch of players you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Outplayed Argentina and kept their composure.
To Nedum's point there, Luis, that is what we were seeing. Laporte was talking about it before the game, saying that they knew what to expect. And you do have to praise them even during the game for how they handled it, not losing their cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I was mentioning, it's not that you didn't know what this team was all about. And I have nothing to say about that. In the end, you have to play with the cards that you have or with the arguments that you can manage to try to win. This is the World Cup. We are used to, because we come for a different era where this was a little bit more allowed. On these days, very difficult to find a team that it can play with this kind of manners, because there are cameras all around. The referee's got a camera. There are 100,000 cameras all around, so everything can be seen. So it's weird to see these kind of performances. But they knew. Spain, I think they try to play by the book, trying to do what they have to do. Don't be frustrated, because that's what Argentina were trying to do, to try to get out of the comfort zone, try to get out of the focus, and by then maybe get one of the transitions that we saw in the previous games, how they did it. My only concern is the image of the Argentinian team at the end, and the image for football, because again, this is one of the biggest stages in the world. That happened just a few minutes, a few seconds right after the whistle of the referee. And everybody was watching, all the kids, they are all around the world, watching a fantastic final, celebrating, the ones who enjoyed the game, and some other that probably they were not happy. But the frustration of the Argentinian players, I think they went just too far, because you can be frustrated, you can get angry, you can go head-to-head with one of the or two other players, but in the moment that you go into a fight, I think that it shouldn't be, not even in the mind. It doesn't matter if you are angry, and it doesn't matter if you are frustrated because the game went into your side. But I think that it was just going too far. It was awful to see those kind of events. I understand that FIFA will get something to say on that. The referee will probably make a report. But hopefully we don't see any more these kind of images, because we've been trying to fight about any kind of violence in football, and the worst situation is on the final of this World Cup to see those kind of footage.
Do you know, I don't think the image of the game will be hurt at all because of the result. Had Argentina won, then absolutely the image of the game would have been in trouble. But the fact is, I'm sure most people, like myself, were sitting after an hour going, the good guys better win this. If Argentina win this the way they've been playing the game, this will be an absolute disaster for the game. So fortunately the good guys won and we got the right result, which means everybody will be thinking about Spain and not Argentina.
Well, let's get to the new world champions and some of the notes here. The third reigning Euro champion to win the World Cup. They never trailed in 8 games. There was 1 goal conceded in the whole tournament, which is the fewest by a World Cup champion. It's a 38-game unbeaten streak in all competitions, which is the longest by a men's national team. And they have now won 6 of their last 7 major tournament finals. Which is your favourite of those stats, Luis?
Yeah, it's difficult to choose. There are a lot of records breaking, but I guess 1/6 of 7, I think, is just amazing, because you can be involved in many competitions. Arriving to the final is already difficult. Winning 6 of 7 is really, really outstanding. So yeah, I will go to that one, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can continue. And it looks like at least we are going to be one of the contenders there very soon.
Oh, really good stuff. Thank you so much for being with us, Luis. Tears and disbelief across fan zones, across Argentina. The Albiceleste missing out on back-to-back World Cup titles. Disappointment back in the homeland for Argentina. However, deep gratitude for Lionel Messi as we come to the end of an era for one of the most decorated and brightest stars to ever grace the game. Gracias eternas, says La Capital. All gracias for Lionel Messi. And a lot to thank this player for from Argentina and beyond. Let's welcome in our very own Argentine, Martin Einstein, right now. Some mixed emotions probably right now. Martin, let me start with Lionel Messi and everything that this ending here in the World Cup has meant for him.
Hello, Kay. Hola, Kay. Hello to everybody. Yeah, I mean, I have lived, I was born in Argentina. My heart is Argentinian because when you start playing football, the first time you go to a stadium, that's what you have inside. But 21 years living in Spain, my home, my two girls, they were born there. So they were, you know, it was pretty tough for me to experience yesterday's match because I didn't know where to stand. But let's talk about Leo. I think that we have to be thankful. Leo has given everything and more. He didn't have to prove himself or anybody else what he is. He scored 8 goals, 4 assists. He was the light of the Argentina, the center, the DNA of the team. Everything happened around him, and he was so important for Argentina to reach the final. The heart, the football, the tactics, the spirit. So I think that we don't have to keep an eye on the result or the last performance that Argentina had to rate Lionel Messi's career or the last part of his career. Messi will be there forever. I don't think, if we only talking about football, not the icon, not the connection with the working class or the people in Argentina or the world, because the empathy that Maradona had is irreplaceable. But if we're talking about football, there's no one like Messi in the history of the game. Why? He has been at such a top level, being decisive for so many years. I mean, we were talking about numbers, 8 goals, 4 assists at 39 years old. And this is not an excuse, but Messi was playing a final at 3 p.m. without a roof in the New York summer. I mean, it was not the best scenario for him to shine. It was not the best game for him either. But I will say that the mark that he has left for kids, for fans, for journalists is undoubtedly the most important figure in the history of the sport.
Yeah, of course. Now, obviously, you're in the United States right now, Martin, but you'll have seen some of the reaction back in Argentina to how it all ended in the World Cup final yesterday. What are the reports saying and what's their take on it? Obviously, across here, you've seen there's a lot of people upset and disappointed with those scenes. What's the feeling back in Argentina?
Yeah. There's many. I mean, we Argentinians. We don't have one feeling. We feel very strongly about so many things. So there's disappointment, of course. There's sadness, but also we are thankful to what this team has brought in this World Cup. We never expected to see, because this team didn't quite work in any of the games they play, very few. But they have so much heart. They fought for every ball like it was the last one. They never said, we are out, we're not going to fight anymore. I mean, it was really touching to see these men that they knew that they didn't have the quality, the automatisms, the way of playing that they had 3.5 years ago in Qatar. They knew that. They knew they were more fragile, that Messi was 39, that Di Maria was not there, but still, they deliver. They commit, and they shine. So I thought when I saw, and I was covering Spain through all the World Cup, I saw after the game that Spain beat France, that it was going to be very hard for Argentina to equal that level, to be at that at that game, at that quality, not only individual but in terms of the collectiveness of the sport and of the game. Rodri was amazing. And I remember talking to Mikel Merino saying the key for us against Argentina is not having the ball in our feet so much. Moving the ball very fast, creating spaces, dominating, to defend and to attack. And this is what they did. I mean, Argentina didn't create one chance in 90 minutes, only two against 20 in the whole game. So it's true. Argentina, and because they had, and the way they play, they could have gone to the penalties. They have two very clear occasions to score, but it was going to be very unfair. If you look at the game, if you look at how the game was, because Spain was much better side. They play incredibly good, and they shine like a real champion. They were the real champions. So nothing to say to Argentinians. I agree with you. The way they ended with a fight, with things that we don't like to see on the pitch. I'm not here, and I wouldn't imagine being there with the frustration, with so many things that were said from the Spanish players and the Argentinian players, the heartbeat at 180. I don't know how will I react, but it wasn't. I mean, that was not the image, and the memories that we wanted to have in the last dance of Lionel Messi in a World Cup.
Let's get to Spain then. As you mentioned, Martin, you've been living in Spain a long time. In fact, I moved there in 2006, and you were already an established figure there. In the journalism world, when I got to Spain, you've been covering closely this Spain side. You've watched so many of these players. You've been on bicycle rides with many of them for our Bicycle Diaries series. You're probably not surprised with what we're seeing from this national team right now.
I think, I mean, for me it was a privilege to be so close to them. We started in Puebla in the last friendly they had, and it's very nice to work with the federation, because it's the national team that opens its door the most. They give you a chance to be very close to the players. And Luis de la Fuente, for me, is one of the main responsibles of this World Cup, because he was saying, you know what? Don't worry. I mean, the calm, the tranquility is power. We have time. We will develop the best performances on each player. He had Lamine Yamal injured. He had Nico Williams injured. He had Mikel Merino with a fracture in February. Play only 26 minutes before De La Fuente's list. Fabian Ruiz also injured. I mean, Rodri started playing with Manchester City in March. I mean, 2.5 months before the start of the World Cup. So he knew that he had two phases of the World Cup. The first one was the easiest one, so he wanted to recover the best version out of the key players. And when he had those players, he said, we're good. I mean, we have survived. We have won the games that we needed to be there. Now we're going to shine. And he gave the confidence to the players, so they understand that this was a long tournament, and a long tournament was not a handicap for them due to the situation. It was an advantage. They used time to cure and to queue up the players so they are ready to perform and to compete at their best, their best physical and rhythm. So it's amazing what Spain have done. But Luis de la Fuente has a lot to do with that.
Okay, we've got to go quick with you now, Martin, but you've been at the World Cup from the very beginning. You got to go all the way to the end because you were following Spain. How would you rate your experience here in the United States in the World Cup?
Amazing. From the Spain side, I loved it. I didn't understand quite so much the election of the final. New York is a great city, but this was not the best stadium. I mean, there are stadiums with roof, AC, that are amazing. Dallas, for example. LA is incredible. I know LA hosted the final in '94, but It was not an easy stadium to work, not an easy stadium to play. The grass was not in good condition. So I love the multiculturality of the World Cup. I love the 48 teams. I didn't like the hydration pauses, and I didn't like the election of the last game. But thumbs up. I mean, it worked, and I really enjoyed it.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, Martin, for being with us. We look forward to hearing a lot more from you during La Liga's season, which is coming up. Gab and Jules Show have you covered for their thoughts on the final. Check that out right now wherever you get your podcasts.